Lottery winners of Global Dine. When is it your turn? There are two positions on global warming. It is not happening. It is happening gradually. Based on the organic thesis of the CO2 matrix, global warming is happening globally at an accelerating rate, with local instances of sudden disaster. Listed herein is a list of lottery winners of the Global Dine, that is, local disasters due to the organic properties of carbon dioxide. Few people are not aware of more weather disasters each year, which is buttressed by the events of 2010, 2011, 2012. More than 42 million people around the world were forced to flee their homes because of natural disasters in 2010, more than double the number during the previous year. 90% of these disaster displacements were caused by weather-related hazards such as floods and storms. Natural disasters have doubled from around 200 to over 400 a year over the past 2 decades. Ironically, people's subjective concerns match the objective facts. Sadly, most people invoke the God's will rather than blame man's CO2 sinning. To understand the lottery of global dying from rising greenhouse gases, the organic properties of CO2 need to be kept in mind. Property of hydrophilia. CO2 likes H2O more than H2O likes itself. Property of precipitation changed by CO2 soaking up water. Property of invisibility. Water bound to CO2 is invisible relative to water bound to particulates. Principle of larger lasting weather systems. If I press my foot harder and harder into your chest, do you call it a footprint or a sin or a murder? Principle of flatulence. CO2 air masses tend to build up and accumulate H2O until saturated before they move from their source of origin or generation. Principle of vicious cycle. Carbon emissions are out of control. Principle of. Finally, Mathis is right. This carbon dioxide killing of the food chain in a world of exploding population will lead to a precipice over which life on Earth will fall into the abyss of extinction. Keep the previously listed principles in mind as you review some of the winners of the Global Dying Lotteries. In general, each gallon of gas you burn causes a displacement of 34 gallons of water. Thus, the price you pay at the pump, no matter how high, is nothing compared to the loan you are taking out for each gallon of gas you burn. Mother Nature is a loan shark with an unprecedented usury rate, the death of all life on Earth. 1965 drought envelope develops and expands as upwind Saudi oil production increases. Since then, 80% of equatorial Africa's farmland has become desert. Rainfall did return for 9 months that coincided with the OPEC oil embargo, when Saudi oil production dropped by over 90%. 2003 Australian Christmas fire, 2,500 kilometers long, distance of Chicago to Miami, burned up 25% of national capital, burned up National University. Australian was another lottery winner in 2009. Australian Easter fires that burned up most of the state of Victoria. 2010, the February Snowmageddon. Most of the U.S. was covered, except for Florida. March 2010, Madeira Islands, Portugal, floods. Another winner in 2010, March, Northeast flooding, a lottery winner. 2010, March, China has a record dust bowl. 2010, May, a spatial lottery, British Petroleum oil disaster with massive burning of oil. A few days later, May, Nashville, Tennessee has record rainfall, a lottery winner. Another petrophilia lottery winner, Arkansas. And the lottery winners from the British Petrophilia Burnoff, Oklahoma. More lottery winners on the other side of the world. 2010, August, Russia. Record drought and fires. Moscow's first 100-degree day ever. Downwind from Russia, another lottery winner. Pakistan has the worst flooding ever. Oh, too many lottery winners. 2010, December, Europe has record cold and snow. Australia, a winner again. 2010, December, record flooding and droughts. 2010, in the U.S. East, a lottery winner. But worse is to come in just a month. A bigger lottery winner in February 2011. A bigger weather system than February or December 2010.
2011, Australia suffers record droughts, floods, and fires.
Oklahoma insists on being a lottery winner once again. It has a record low, negative 28 degrees. 2011, lottery winners all around. Record number of tornadoes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. A month later, 2011, May, more record tornadoes. Lots of lottery winners in 2011 due to the tornado. In May 2011, another collection of lottery winners. Tornado tickets. 2011 spring, Texas wildfire lottery winners, preceding and contributing to later Mississippi flooding. Not only do we have more lottery winners, but the lottery stakes are bigger and bigger and bigger. The lottery winnings in burned up acres has increased. Oh, this is a real lottery winner. In 2010, due to drought from upwind, deep water oil wells, the Amazon basin went from a net CO2 sink of almost 2 billion tons of CO2 to a release of several billion tons. Texas and Oklahoma are experiencing droughts worse than those of the 1930s. Dust bows. Well, downwind, guess what is happening? Lottery winners! Record rainfall and flooding in Mississippi Basin, downwind from Oklahoma, Texas. CO2 sending. Local global dying is happening in every neighborhood on an individual basis. In 2006, this writer concluded that hardwood trees would die to arboreal alpha trifecta, droughts and deluges. Since 2003, this homeowner has removed 10 large trees leaning after high winds. The first 5 cost over $7,500. In 2011, the 2 tallest at 80 feet were priced at $8,000, which prompted this curious fool to eBay tree climbing equipment to self-remove. This is my 62 tree. I'm 62 feet off of the ground, 62 years old, and 62 pounds overweight. Noticeable, if one has a memory and looks at trees, is how the tree root balls are smaller, reflecting the stress of cycles of longer droughts interrupted by sudden deluge, with less water soaking in as more and more rain simply ran off as the topsoil was saturated. Local global dying is happening in every neighborhood on an individual basis. This is an oddity that seems to be happening more and more in different places based on travelers. This oak tree has been behind his house for 30 plus years of living at 3600. In the last year, sprigs have sprouted along the whole trunk. That's odd. Like the cocaine-using hypester hucksters selling junk on TV, let it be said. And there is more. You get more lotteries with bigger, sudden losses.